Okay, this is the jar that I got from Hobby Lobby at 50% off. It's regularly $5.99, so I got it for $2.99. So I'm going to peel this sticker off, which, yay, it comes off really easy. I'm going to have this mermaid going like this. Okay, so I'm going to, and she's going to be glued on the outside of the jar. Whoops. Tacky glue. Seems to hold it really well. I'm going to go ahead and lay the jar down. Got her her arm a little too low. That's because I'm doing a tutorial. Usually I have this jar just setting on my lap, and it's a lot easier to control it. It doesn't start to roll. More glue than usual on the jar, but it wipes off really easy with the cloth. You can see the glue when it's wet. It will dry clear. And before I finish this, I want to show you how I'm doing the battery operated votive lights. I'll show you right now, so that some of the light comes up higher. I am using these little solo cups, 3-ounce size, and I'm using 2 of them. Like that. And that one will go there. So that's how they're going to be for the event. So looking inside, it'll be like this. With a little bit of added height, it will put some light off to see more. Okay, now I'm going to glue this other mermaid onto the other side of the vase, and this one is going to be heading toward the surface. So she's going to be going the other way. Okay, so usually when I am gluing these down, I have it on my lap like this. And it's a lot easier to work with and place it right where you want it. It's a lot easier to glue it down that way. Okay, I got my mermaids glued on to the jar. And now I'm going to put the first part of the decoupage on, which is going to be just a rippled line at the bottom, I'm going to use the part of the tissue paper that is folded, and I'm not going to put any of the tissue paper on the bottom, so I want the line to stop right here. I'm going to take one sheet I'm going to cut it in a ripple so that it looks like the ocean current. First I'm going to cut this part off to make it easier to work with. Okay, so I want to keep this edge straight, and this part is going to be ripply, and even to the very end. I don't want to have a straight seam. So I'm going to apply some of the decoupage onto the jar first, and then add the tissue paper. So it's going to go like this. This is the Mod Podge paper mache. It's for paper on paper, but I used it for the paper on the glass, and it came out really well. You can also use the regular Mod Podge, which is what I used for this smaller vase. Just have a few spots that I need to patch, like right here. It turned out really well. So either is fine. This one costs less. Okay, so I find it easier to just pour some of this into a smaller container. And I use a regular paintbrush, but you can also use one of those sponge brushes. And I'm keeping it upright like this because I don't want to get it on the bottom. If I get the Mod Podge on the bottom, I can wipe it off later. Okay. So this is what I'm going to do first before I put the tissue paper on, and then I'll put another layer over the tissue paper. Okay, so now set my paintbrush aside and set this aside to start drying while I cut the layers of tissue paper. And I'm going to fold it over and get multiple layers. Okay, so I'm gonna do the round ripple on both ends, and then I'll apply layers onto the jar. So if it's not smooth, you just trim it before you Mod Podge it on. This actually looks like a little, it could be an ocean current, so I'm going to leave that. Okay, so then I am going to start from layering from the bottom up, like this, and I can put some Mod Podge on to start. I'm going to go like this and make sure that I cover, overlap. Oh, I forgot to crinkle it. This is what I'm doing. I want it to look like ocean currents, so I'm crinkling it. Yeah. Let's see, this one might rip because I got a little Mod Podge on it. I'm going to cut that off. You can crinkle it both ways if you want. All right, here we go. Yay! And I am not worrying about big air bubbles. I mean little air bubbles. Now see how it's rippling? I love it because it looks like the current. And if there's air bubbles, it'll be okay because it'll give it a little bit of a 3D effect, like the ocean. And if you want, you can make your strokes kind of curvy, like the waves of the current. But I've got 10 of these to make, so I'm just going to do it really fast. See, look here, it's not covering, so I will have to add a smaller sheet of tissue to cover that spot. If you have some overlap, that's fine. I mean, you might want to make more overlaps on purpose to give it more current, ocean current effect. All right, let me cover this part right here. And there's a little bit over here too, so I need to make sure I get all of that. There. Voila! Okay. Now, for the next sheet, which if I hadn't messed up, it would have gone all the way to there, but that's okay. So, I think I might leave that like that. It's fun how accidents can lead to another way to do it. Okay, so I'm gonna put this here. And that's not covered, so I need to readjust it. There. Okay. So it overlaps the layers and gives it a little extra design. And you can see how it's overlapping there and how pretty it looks. Oh, I forgot to crinkle it again. Oh my gosh, okay. Hold on, let me crinkle. If you make mistakes like I do, I'm not ripping that. I'm just gonna crinkle this. It isn't glued on yet. Okay, that. Aha, improvise. That's the way I roll. Okay, and it still looks fine. You want to go very softly so you don't rip your tissue paper. But if you do, you can patch it. So don't worry. And if it folds over like that, you can leave it or just pull it up. Okay, genius at work. Not. I'm going to do the same thing I did at the bottom. Use the fold to go around here. I will cut it with the ripple to cover up all the way around. So I'm going to turn the camera off while I do that. Okay, so this is the folded part of the tissue paper. I went ahead and just cut a real thin strip here where it's folded, and now I'm going to cut a ripple across this edge. This. I'm going to start with the biggest space that I have to overlap. Okay, I think right here. Yeah, that'll work. There. And you see how the layers are closer together here and how it's folded over so it's more, you can have that all the way up and down the jar if you want that many ocean currents and layers. You definitely can do that. It's a matter of what kind of look you like and how much time you have to put into it. So right here, there isn't much overlapping, but the light will shine through. It will dry where it kind of pulls apart, so it's going to let more light shine through. But I think that for at the top, where the lid meets it, I think that that's kind of a nice finishing touch up there near the top. And then the bottom has the extra layer too. So, okay, so now I'm going to let it dry without the top, and then we'll see how it turns out. Actually, off camera, I'm going to go over the entire thing and make sure I got some Mod Podge on every inch of it to make sure it's gonna hold it down. But I need to get up close and personal. Okay, the mermaid lanterns are finished and I am testing them. Look at that. I decorated the lids. Had to make my own stencil because I couldn't find a swirl stencil. Okay, now I'm going to turn off the light. Let's see how it looks. Ooh, oh yeah. Oh my goodness. I love it. Very, very cool. I know it won't be this dark in the room, but oh my gosh. I love them. Cool. there's the twinkle lights turned on in the smaller jar. And okay, now I'm going to turn the light off. See how it looks in the dark. Very nice. So these make wonderful centerpieces.